guys, what's up, Internet? I am Bianca, and for today, I bring you the complete secrets video guide on the latest and quite honestly most addicting roleplay release to date, spells and secrets. There are around 43 or so of these puzzles hidden throughout the various rooms scattered in the Academy. And as this is a roguelite, meaning it features procedurally generated worlds, you can never tell which ones of these you will encounter, and at times, they leave solving them a mind-boggling conundrum. That is where this video comes in. I hopefully will be able to help you clear through all of these puzzles from all 3 floors in the game that provides them. Though, to be fair, I have to give a spoiler warning for this since these puzzles are a big chunk of what makes this game fun. I will also be breaking them down per floor, so if you are searching for a specific puzzle on a specific floor, you can use the timestamps provided in the video description down below, or head on over to the points in this video specified here. Before we begin, let me just preface this by saying that all of the puzzles and mysteries to be solved can be solved and found through all 3 acts in the game, so you don't have to worry about missing any of them by progressing the story. Another thing to note is that there is no puzzles in rooms that contains a shop. Now, without further ado, let's begin with the dorms. Let's start off with the first one you will encounter in the game, the bluish lamps. To solve this one, simply interact with both lamps to open the passage and claim your prize. Next is the soccer ball. Now, this is for the area where there is a singular goal only. For this one, you only need to shoot the soccer into its goal. For the chess pieces, the goal here is simple. Find the correct move using the one of the 3 pieces outside of the chessboard that would result in a checkmate. Once you've moved the piece to the correct spot, interact with the floating ball of light that will appear to claim your reward. Now, there are 2 variations of this puzzle, one with a smaller chessboard grid and another with a bigger one. The latter can be found in the upper floors of the Academy. Next up are the crooked pictures scattered throughout an area. You need to find all the tilted pictures and interact with them to write them up. There is a variation of this wherein you are presented a picture with broken pillars on it along with 4 pictures. Simply mimic the picture, setting the frame pictures tilted where the broken pillars are to match the sequence on the painting. Another variation of the paintings is seeing a group of pictures in a room with one of them crooked. Fixing the tilted one will cause the other pictures to tilt. The solution to this is to find the correct pattern. This will open up a hidden room with your prize within. Now, while you are in the first floor, you may come across a courtyard with a fountain in the middle and stepping stones surrounding it. To solve this puzzle, check the surrounding lamps and see which ones are alight. Then, using your telekinesis spell, move an object to a stepping stone that matches where the lighted up lamps are. Another puzzle that will require the use of the telekinesis spell is the one where you will find a portrait with a wizard listening on a gramophone. To solve this, look for the room in this area that has a radio on it. Turn the radio on and move it near the portrait. There is another courtyard puzzle wherein you will find 2 breakable pots. What you need to do here is to break both pots. Now, these pots end up getting fixed within 6 to 8 seconds, so you need to hurry if you want to complete this puzzle. If you're having trouble, you may need to progress further in the academy to unlock the time warp spell, which will allow you to slow down time and make this a cinch. Now, for the remaining first floor puzzles, you will need spells you can only unlock if you've progressed enough. These spells are Mouse Form, which transforms you into a mouse, Ascend, which allows you to hover above ground, Bombard, which allows you to shoot fire, and Freeze, which, as the name suggests, freezes things. So let's start off with a puzzle that requires you to use mouse form. In one of the areas in the first floor, you may find yourself looking at the map and seeing the question mark denoting something is there in that area but finding nothing of note. Well, you best keep a sharper eye out there as there will be a little mouse hole in one of the rooms here. Simply transform into a mouse using mouse form and go inside the mouse hole. This type of puzzle is also available in the upper areas of the academy. Next up, the puzzles that requires Ascend on the first floor. Somewhere in the first floor, you will come across an area that has 4 rooms. 3 of these rooms will have a Big Dipper carpet on them. To solve the puzzle here, you need to find the room that has a strange, eerily glowing book on its shelf and use Ascend to interact with it. Next, for the Bombard spell, you will come across a portrait of a wizard that is using a flame spell. Simply aim Bombard at it to complete the puzzle. And lastly, the Freeze spell. This spell is needed to complete the puzzle where a fountain is pushing a floating orb upwards. Simply aim yourself and your Freeze spell at this fountain until it freezes over. This puzzle is also available on the second floor of the academy. Now let's move on to the second floor of the academy, which is basically the classrooms. Floor 2 also has an open courtyard kind of area. Here you will see 4 braziers, 2 at each side of the central walkway. In order to complete this puzzle, you would need to use the Bombard spell to light up all 4 braziers. Another courtyard will have 4 vases in it and a cracked window. To solve this puzzle, move one of the vases near the window and use your Shockwave spell to push it through the window. This will break it, allowing you to take the prize that is inside. There is also yet another courtyard with 4 griffin statues where you can interact with the southernmost one. Doing so will spawn a ball of light that you need to follow and collide with. What you essentially need to do to make this easy is to transform into a mouse before interacting with the statue and then chasing the balls of light, following it down the path until you get to the end to claim your prize. Similarly, you can use the Time Warp spell here if you have it. In floor 2, you will also begin to notice these bushes that have elemental properties on them. There are 3 puzzles that have something to do with these plants. The first one has one of these plants separated in another room. To solve this puzzle, simply go to the room where the 2 other elemental bushes are. Use Levitate on both of them and move them out of the way via telekinesis. Afterwards, find a different object in the room to place on the switches you've uncovered. The second one has 2 rooms. One room has 3 empty plots while the other contains the elemental bushes. To solve this one, you need to move the elemental bushes over the empty plots one at a time using levitate and telekinesis. Just make sure that you don't touch or collide with these bushes since they do cause damage if you end up hitting them. Lastly is the area where the elemental bushes are placed on plots of land with signs near them. The bushes will be different from what their signs are, so all you have to do is fix it so that the sign matches what element the bush has. In Floor 2, you will also begin to notice magic circles in the classrooms. There are 2 puzzles that involve these magic circles. The first one has a room with 2 magic circles, sandwiching 3 platforms that also has 3 boxes. For this puzzle, the solution is to move one of the boxes in the middle platform, then move the remaining boxes on the 2 magic circles. One magic circle will shrink the box while the other will make it bigger. Move the bigger box into the left platform and the smaller one on the right. The other puzzle that involved this magic circle is the one where another giant portrait is also involved. This portrait depicts a witch doing magic. To solve it, move a nearby podium into the magic circle below the portrait. Once it has been imbued with magic, move the podium close to the portrait. Our next puzzle can easily be solved by co-op, but if you are a solo player like me, this can also be easily done with Time Warp. Basically, there will be a room with 2 buttons on consoles. To solve this, simply use Time Warp to get from one button to another within the time limit, interacting with them as you go. In Floor 2, you will also begin to sometimes see these floating elemental orbs and a room that has a circular indentation on the floor. To solve this puzzle, find the floating elemental orb and move it to the room with that circular thing on it. Then use freeze to drop the orb on the floor. Move it as necessary to complete the puzzle. Speaking of floating elemental orbs, there is also an area where there is a floating ball of light sitting in the middle of a room. Touching it will make the orb disappear from the middle of the room while making more orbs appear on the 4 cardinal positions of the room along with a miasma on the ground. Trying to get to these orbs via walking and touching the miasma will reset the puzzle. The solution? Use fly to interact with the orbs. You will also sometimes come across a courtyard with 3 small flower beds. The solution to this is to use your grow spell to make all the flowers similar. Either turn them all blue or all yellow or all red. Just make sure that they are all the same color. This puzzle will also be available in the 3rd floor of the academy, but instead of just 3 flowers, there will be 6. The solution still remains the same though. Lastly, there is an area on Floor 2 where a giant door with 3 red lights on it can be found. In this area will be 3 electrical boxes you would need to destroy to solve this puzzle and open that door. To destroy it, use your slash spell on the electrical boxes. And finally, let's go on ahead and tackle the puzzles found on the 3rd floor of the academy or the estates. There are areas in the 3rd floor where you will find yourself going inside barns. There are 3 variations of puzzles that involve them. The first one is a barn with a locked room. To solve this, head outside of the barn and look for a cracked window. Like how we did in the 2nd floor, levitate, then move an object close to this window and throw it at it. With the window broken, fly inside to claim your prize. second involves a barn with a lot of hay on the floor and hay that are compressed into large haystacks. To complete this puzzle, you need to clear out the room, ensuring that all the hay are gone. The third variation is similar to the previous one, but there are now grass inside the barn instead of hay. Like the previous solution, this barn also requires cleaning. For an easier time, use the slash spell to cut the grass. Now let's head on over to the areas with greenhouses on them. There are two puzzles you can find in these areas. The first one involves using the grow spell to fill the fields on both greenhouses with grass. Ensure that you cover the entire field to complete the puzzle. The second one has a greenhouse with lots of roses in it and a door leading to a rucksack. This one, you just need to go inside that room. You can choose to either walk through the roses, but take note this will deal damage to you, or you can do the safe route, which is fly above the roses, open the door, and get the rucksack and the items within. The next set of puzzles involve the areas of the estates that have giant fields filled with big and small pumpkins. There are three kinds of puzzles involving this type of area. The first one has a scarecrow in it that you need to use the magic missile and shield with. Do this 3 times to destroy the scarecrow and get your prize. The next one has lots of holes on the ground. For this one, you just need to transform into a mouse and find the correct hole that will push out a rucksack. The last one involves dealing with moles crawling underground. You will need to be quick about this since this is also a timed challenge, but the solution is simple. Just attack the mound of dirt and follow it as it spawns elsewhere, attacking it whenever it does. Eventually, you will get the moles to run away and get your prize. Following these 3 puzzles is another variant of the fields where instead of pumpkins, you will be surrounded by tall grass and a couple of muddy puzzles. This type of field also has 3 kinds of puzzles to them. In the first one, there will be 5 empty patches of dirt and a large boulder close by. Fly your way up the large boulder to interact with the semi-visible switch. This will make 5 vases appear that you will need to destroy in quick succession. Destroy them all and you complete the puzzle. The second one has switches hidden beneath the tall grass, so simply find these switches by cutting down the tall grass and then move the rocks scattered in the area over to them. Easy peasy. The third and last puzzle type of this area and for this game has a sunlight drawing on one of the mud puddles. Just stand close and you will see the floor light up. Step on this highlighted floor and the ball of light will appear. Just chase and catch the ball and this puzzle is as good as solved. And that's about it. All the puzzles that you will encounter in Roka Play's spells and secrets. I hope this video proves useful to those trying to solve everything there is to solve in the game. Until the next video, you guys know the drill. Dream on, fly on. Bye bye for now. Keep safe, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Someday we'll have a last conversation.